Every single time I try to change something about my life, there's this moment where I always tell myself, okay, this time is different. I perk up, I actually make progress. At least I feel like it's progress. And then I stop. I just sort of drift away from it. Usually it's introduced by some sort of excuse, like I could do it later or I believe I've earned a day off. And that kills it for longer than any tiny break period. And for a long time, I thought that meant I was lazy or undisciplined or just not built a certain way. I be sure to tell people I could do everything though, but I have no real evidence to back that up anymore. I always peter out like a tailwind. But I don't think my problem is motivation. At least, not anymore. I think my problem is the way I've always approached change. Because every plan I've ever followed relied on me doing it or being a different version of myself. All the jolly words of authors or influencers, professors, whoever, talking about being focused and disciplined, I usually just take all of that and absorb it like some kind of greater force than what it actually is for me personally. I like the shiny thought of it. And that greater version of me does show up occasionally, but it doesn't show up on random Tuesdays. So instead of asking, how do I become more motivated? I started asking, what actually makes me quit? And when I look back, that was always the same little moment that shows. That little pause where I have to decide, do I do this today? Do I skip just this once maybe? Or do I wait until I feel more ready in order to take some action? And every one of those decisions gives me a great excuse to bail the fluff out. And so I have, consistently. But you know what I do show up for? Work. I clock in to make money for someone else's company 40 hours a week. And I leave my own interests on the coat rack as I daydream about how great it'll be once I get off that day. So this time I'm trying something a little different. I'm not going to try to be impressive or optimize everything. I definitely am not going to be trying to fix myself. I'm just seeing what happens when I remove as many decisions as possible. Think about it like this. Every time you rely on motivation, you're asking your brain to negotiate with itself. That's the kind of stuff I've been reading, at least. And my brain is a great negotiator. Getting attacked by a spider web. So instead of arguing with it, I'm lowering the bar for myself. I'm going to make smaller, more boring actions, not trying to come up with some kind of grand plan about how I'm going to change everything about me immediately. But I'm going to pick some things that don't require hype to start. I'm looking to build consistency. That's what this channel is. A place I have to come to show myself what I have done. And if I haven't done anything, it'll show up right in this space. That's the kind of fear I need, the kind of feedback that would probably keep me proper. I won't be cramming your head full of advice perfectly crafted or curated to get a feel good pat on the back or whatever. It's not a blueprint of how great architects have built things in the past. I haven't figured anything out any more than the normal people I see every day, or even you who are listening. It's just me documenting what happens when someone who usually quits stops trying to be heroic about change. I'm not a superhero. I don't know where this will go, but I do know this. Every time I've tried to leap forward, I've failed so far. Every time I tried to stay small and consistent, though, I at least stayed in the game just a little longer. So I'm going to use that strength. And if you're someone who keeps restarting, keeps falling off, and wondering why nothing ever sticks, you're probably able to help me too. And I can use that assistance. It's likely we're playing the wrong game. For now, I'm just going to show up again tomorrow. That's the whole experiment.